Welcome to YLC, the Young Leaders Committee that promotes and grows youth leadership that ensures the future leaders lead from today by educating and inspiring them to soar higher and higher.
Welcome to YLC, the Young Leaders Committee, the platform that educates, enlightens, inspires, and walks young people into leadership from their youth. Young people, your leadership era begins today. No longer wait for tomorrow. We started a new episode at the last session. The theme for this month and this episode is full and familiar equipment. The focus in this session is the nudge for appropriate equipping. The nudge for appropriate equipping. If you watched the last session, then you probably know what an equipment is and the necessity for an equipment. Equipment and equipping have a meeting point. They are very close in meaning. They refer to an object or a process, an object or item, or a process, an activity. Our last discussion skewed slightly to equipping with objects, though it included process. This time, that is in this episode, both will also be considered, but we will skew slightly to equipping via process. To equip is to supply with the necessary items for a particular purpose, or to prepare someone mentally for a particular assignment or task. Let's go into our discussion by looking at the grasp for essence of a nudge in leadership. We want to first look at what nudge means and look at nudge in leadership. Nudge means to prod lightly, to urge into action, to try to persuade someone through earnest appeals to follow a course of action. It's also to make someone do or believe something by giving them a good reason to do it, or by talking to that person and making them believe it. To nudge has many synonyms that can bring out the meaning, simplify the meaning. And among them, we want to choose just 3. So our discussion will center around these 4 words. In place of nudge, it may be clearer for some people to think of prompting, urging, motivating. So these concepts should be borne in mind as we look at it. And we want to say right at the outset that these concepts have 2 aspects, the external and the internal. That is to say, you may be motivated by people or by your organization, that's from outside, or you have to motivate yourself, that's from inside. 2 other words we use for this are, for the external motivation, it is extrinsic motivation. For the one you do yourself, it is intrinsic motivation. It comes from the motivation. I want to say that the best form of motivation is intrinsic motivation, but it really doesn't come easily. And sometimes what occurs today as intrinsic motivation is simply a product as a result of extrinsic motivation that took place in the past. Somebody talked to you, tried to urge you, nudge you, get you to respond. You didn't respond at that time. But over some days or weeks or months, you are now getting encouraged, motivated from within you as a result of that push in the past. That's intrinsic motivation, occasioned by extrinsic motivation. Leaders must learn to both encourage and motivate themselves. It's important. This could be crucial in adverse circumstances that are frequent occurrences in life and in leadership. Leadership is there to handle adversities and challenges. So, don't be worried by them. A nudge in leadership is therefore a critical asset that promotes leadership and also success in leadership. It is the engine that drives and procures the passion leaders need in order to forge ahead and to rise in adversity to provide the needed leadership. Leaders who have the nudge in leadership don't remain down with the rest of the workers in an organization. Let's now look at how can we grasp the essence of a nudge for equipment. We looked at a nudge in leadership. Now it's the essence of a nudge for equipment, because that's the major issue we are looking at, although we are talking about leadership and equipment. The desire, motivation, urge, or feeling for the need to be appropriately equipped for an assignment in leadership is a safeguard and anchor for great success in leadership. It's suicidal, to say the least, to be complacent about your equipment in leadership. A proper equipment is the secret of excellence in service. It makes all the difference. To be properly equipped inspires courage and confidence in leaders. The converse is also true. Equipment is not limited to items we said earlier. Items utilized for service. No, it's not limited. The mental know-how, which is the other side of equipment or equipping, could mean much more in some instances. Leaders must feel their need for more training and submit themselves to training. Repeating a particular training may discourage you, but it has an advantage. So if you have undergone a particular training and you are asked to do the same in a new organization, please accept it. This is because repetition, according to someone, is a fixing device. It brings knowledge to the fingertips and makes application come easy. Therefore, get it early. Whether it is an object or training, this is fundamental to success in leadership. Once God, make every effort to be familiar with it and use it judiciously and religiously. We would want to ask some questions. To what extent are those in leadership motivated to seek appropriate equipping? Do they see need to be appropriately equipped as leaders, or are satisfied occupying an office and earning a living out of it and are fine and just remain there? That's a question for your reflection. If you have any meaningful response you want us to know, please comment below. Now, the next point we want to say, get endlessly self-motivated. Having seen the meaning of intrinsic motivation, we want to urge you to get ceaselessly self-motivated. But before we look at self-motivation, what's motivation? Motivation in management is that inspiration, desire, or morale which stirs up the willingness to execute duties in pursuit of organizational objectives. Motivation is the process of inducing and stimulating an individual to act in a certain manner. In an organization, motivation implies encouraging and urging the employees to perform to the best of their capacity and capability so as to achieve the desired goals of the organization. On the other hand, we want to look at self-motivation. What is self-motivation? Self-motivation at work is that inner urge that makes a worker to look beyond the bare minimum of what is required. It is that impelling drive within that makes a person search out their goals, strive to find more efficient ways of getting things done, and don't require constant hand-holding or reminders about what tasks need to be completed. That is self-motivation. Self-motivation is the internal drive that leads a person to take action towards a goal. It keeps them moving forward, even when there are obvious obstacles or discouragement. Self-motivation far excels motivation that comes from outside. This is because you may not always find someone to motivate you. You may have good reasons why you shouldn't accept the encouragement you are being given. The person to motivate you may not know your situation as well as you do, or may not be as concerned as you are. To be self-motivated requires certain skills and strategies. We will deal with them in our webinars. But we want to urge you to set a personal goal, looking at strategies. Set a personal goal. Have and uphold core values that could propel you to act. One way to self-motivate is to reflect on possible challenges that could result if you fail to act as is expected of you. The challenges may include family challenges, colleagues who will feel frustrated, organizational problems you will create for not responding promptly, your own personal losses, and a number of others. Let's look at the great factors behind the nudge for equipment as leaders. There's every reason to seek appropriate equipment. Every reason. There are great benefits in getting equipped in leadership position. It will make you suitable, highly productive, open greater opportunities of rising higher in status, secure your job, being a commendable and much sought after worker, among others. When your organization does not see the need to get you equipped, you could seek and get help for yourself. You do not have to wait for your organization always to initiate the process of equipping you. Seek it, take steps, and get equipped to boost your performance. Thank you for watching to this point. Please, we want to inform you, Young Leaders Committee is a mentoring group for the growth and stability of young leaders and even prospective leaders. We have a challenge for reluctant leaders. And this committee promises potentials and opportunities for encountering all classes of young people across different walks of life and from different countries of this world, turning them around for excellence. Visit our website, also displayed on the screen, for more details. Thank you, and see you at the next session.